Hey, my name is PolishLynx, welcome to Katawa Shoujo! It's time to continue. I sweat profusely, awaiting the dreaded moment. Each tick of the clock tenses my muscles that much more, every minute making more hair stand on end. It's coming for me. I can feel it. Death! Death in the form of a single sheet of paper. I take the small pile of papers from the student in front of me and pass it backwards after plucking off the top piece. Looking to the top right of the page, I find my fingers realized within that small red circle. 43. You failed, didn't you? I hang my head and sigh in resignation. Cursing under my breath, I can feel the aura of a similar sentiment rising from the entire class. It's strange, but that fact lifts my mood by a minuscule amount. Misery loves company, I suppose. As the teacher opens her mouth, the room braces for the inevitable onslaught. Only to be saved at the last minute. We quickly move to collect our bags and leave for lunch post-haste. But the teacher delivers a parting broadside.
We'll be discussing the test course next lesson. Needless to say, there'll be quite some discussion to be had.
A collective groan resounds from the class, now reduced to shuffling out dejectedly. I wonder if that's... how is the barrier for them? Because... I don't remember exactly the barrier in high school. I remember the final exams, the final exams, like the national one. That, like, the bare minimum was 30%. So it wasn't so terrible, I guess. At university, it was 50 already. 50% or you fail. Yeah. Anyway, I push the sheet in my back as I walk along the hallway, crumpling it in the process. It's enough that such a troublesome letter ended up on my desk yesterday. And now this. I hate English.
You had... That was English?
And you had how much was it? 43? Uh, 43. How did you manage that? I don't know, man. That's kind of... it's weird to me, to be honest. Because I think I've never failed a single English test. Even if I did not prepare at all. A lot of times. Well, whatever.
Hisao!
A stern female voice gruffly calls out from behind me. I freeze on the spot, my face becoming like stone. It's as if I can feel my brain disconnecting from my body. My eyes slowly shift to right, trying to catch a glimpse of the disembodied voice. Nothing. My face begins to slip as time passes, and I decide to risk turning my head. Ever so slowly it wasted to the... I jump to the air and drop my back, yelling out in surprise. As I recover and regain my composure, I tend to see... I should have known. Emmy.
Gotcha, Hisao!
I did not expect that. She stands there with a mischievous grin on her face, hands forward and fingers pointed inwards. She was the one who jabbed my ribs with her fingers. You know what?
Emmy, do you have a bad end? You have a bad ending. Why do I feel like with Emmy bad ending might lead to our death?
First time she hit in the chest, right? The Hisao while running. Now this.
I have a feeling it might be like that.
I look down at her with a grimace, rubbing my hair in frustration. My hair are a mess, by the way. Because I got Actually, I've decided to put on a hat while walking outside. Because my ears were freezing cold while I was walking with the dog. Can't say I'm a fan of wearing it, but hey, at least my ears are not getting frozen. Anyway, that's not the way to greet someone, you know, Emmy.
You have no sense of humor.
I left my sense of humor in my English class. Complain to the teacher if you want it given back to me. She pulls her best puppy dog eyes on me as she pouts. Elise managed to build up my resistance to the tactic, but Emmy's short stature adds enough to the effect to make me relent. So, how are things? I haven't seen you around for a while.
Same old, same old. I run so fast nobody wants to join me on my morning runs.
Oh.
It's a real pain.
Is it? I don't really run with anyone myself, really. And I don't mind. Her modesty never fails to amuse me.
Although...
Uh-oh.
You know what I'm thinking, don't you, Hisao?
Wearing my emotions on my sleeve is one of my worst habits. She's seen right through me. Fortunately, I see somebody else approaching us. That will give me an out. Oh! Hi, Hanako! I give her a welcome wave and try my best. Wow, Emmy really is short. I mean, maybe not much, but she's shorter. Oh. Maybe I should shut up actually about that. I'm not sure. Whatever. I give her a walking wave and try my best at looking. I actually forgot, okay? I forgot about the problem she would have with her hair. I mean, on the other hand, isn't it a good thing? Like, you know, like that disability is something I don't notice of sorts? I would say that's a good thing. Like, you know, I accepted that, right? And I'm not like looking down on her because of that, something like this. Anyway, I give her a walking wave and try my best at looking like I haven't noticed Emmy's pouting face. She gives a small wave back.
Hello, Hisao, Emmy.
Hey, Hanako! I'll join you and Lilly in a sec. Actually, speaking of lunchtime company, it's odd to see you without Rin, Emmy.
Rin!
Well, the second word, she forgets all about us and bolts up the hallway. She must have forgotten she was waiting for her. Hanako and I stand speechless, only able to helplessly stand and watch this ball of seemingly boundless energy dash off.
Oh yeah, Hisao!
She suddenly stops herself just before vanishing around the corner and to the rooftop staircase, spinning around to meet our bemused faces.
I hate English too!
And with that, she disappears.
But I like English.
All I can do is hang my head and give a long sigh, for roughly left in the dust. As I hear a short giggle coming from behind me, I turn to see Hanako smiling at the corner, my attacker around it. I pick up my drop bag from the floor and quickly dust it off. Afternoon, been busy.
You don't like English?
Nah, I had a test on it a while back and Amy called me brooding about the results and... She's in your class. She had the same test for sure. I mean, why wouldn't she, right?
Ah, sorry.
She averts her gaze, guilt written onto her face. A casual observer would think she just slightly reminded me of a dead relative. Come on, it's not fault. How are you doing in it? She looks up, for still avoids meeting my eyes. 100%.
Alright, I suppose.
An awkward silence passes. They seem all to come around Hanako.
Oh, they asked if you'd like to join us for lunch on the roof.
I guess I don't exactly have the pressing engagements to attend to. Sure, I'll be right up.
I'll go get my lunch from the cafeteria now, then.
Go on. You don't need my approval to leave, you know.
Okay, I'll be going then.
She gives a skittish reply, a small note, and quickly makes off towards the cafeteria. And I stand here wondering, what was the point of me making all that shopping if she buys food from the cafeteria? I'm kidding. I guess she must have forgotten to bring lunch today. As I walk through the hallways, more and more students start to come out of the classrooms and pass me, going the same direction as Hanako went. By the time I manage to make it to the stairs, I'm having to push my way past an easily chatting throng of students. I finally managed to get past the last of the crowd and round the staircase, slumping slightly in relief and slowing my pace before I open the door to the roof. Ah, damn! I momentarily avert my eyes, all but blinded by the harsh summer sun. I'm getting a good lighting, more or less, over here. Even if I barely have windows not covered. Mostly covered, actually. But, you know, the light bounces off the snow and it's freaking awesome. That's a big crowd. As I slowly regain my vision, the surroundings finally take form. Lilly, Emmy, and Rin sit together on the rooftop, the top of the hilltop forest, around Yamaku visible past the fence around them as if to frame the view.
Ah, Hisao!
Lilly and Rin give a quick nod of acknowledgement and a deep nod of greeting respectively. As I walk towards the rather mismatched trio and can't help marveling at the speed with which Emmy devours the rest of her half-eaten banana. Hey, strange to see you three together like this?
It seems to have been quite a day of coincidences. Emmy and Rin decided to eat on the roof just as Hanako and I decided to.
Don't those two for eat there more or less all the time?
You stole it! The spot was ours!
Simmer down. You can't steal a place in the school. I plunk myself down beside Lilly, the four of us creating a semicircle.
I think she's right. You too? The butterfly is her accomplice.
But as I glance around, sure enough, a small yellow butterfly floats across my field of vision. So, tell me, how did this butterfly help Lilly steal on this spot?
It scouted out our conversation and told her.
I should have known better and to expect something reasoning, probably it should be, right? Whatever. From Rin. Regardless, I guess it wouldn't hurt to play along. You're telling me she can talk to butterflies?
There are people who can talk to horses called horse whisperers. Lilly must be a butterfly whisperer.
I bury my head in my hands as Remy rounds on her strange companion. She doesn't seem to share Rin's sense of humor.
Whisperers don't work like that!
Emmy and Rin continue their banter as I turn to Lee, who's busily finishing off her small box of curry and rice. So, what brought you up here, anyway?
A little fresh air every now and again doesn't hurt.
Emmy breaks off from her vain attempts to introduce the concept of logic to Rin.
That was why we came up here too!
Something tells me it was her idea alone, and that Rin only got dragged up here on Emmy's whim. Then again, the same could probably be said of Lilly and Hanako.
Now, we can share.
The creaking of the door to the roof can be heard as soon as she says the words. A moment of silence falls over us as everyone's attention focuses on the figure appearing from it. Hanako slowly walks over to us. Her eyes spin to the ground, suddenly ruining the attention she's attracting. She stands just barely when her eyes meet Rin's. I can't help raising an eyebrow as she walks over to us and sits next to me, doing her utmost to avoid looking up, even as she brings her cafeteria bread to her mouth. So, how do you and Emmy know each other anyways? I mean, Rin next. It was said Rin lives the opposite door to Emmy. Just like Hanako with Lilly. And me and Kenji. Right? Unless they are talking about Lilly knowing Emmy and so on. Anyway.
Emi is somewhat well known around the school for her athletic ability. She's the fastest member of the track and field club by some margin, even beating Mikimura. Whoever that is. At the track meet last week.
Mikimura. Ah, the ton girl from the front of my class. Oh! The one that actually got me interested in the very beginning of the game. And turns out she's not into the story basically, more or less. Considering her height and toned body, being able to beat her is quite an accomplishment. Looking over to Emi, it's very clear she is well aware of this fact as she beams proudly.
So, Hisao, what was your score in English?
Ouch! Ouch! No comment.
Boo!
She puffs her cheeks and pouts, but it doesn't take long for her to bounce back.
Alright, if I tell you mine, you have to tell me yours. Deal?
Fine, fine.
Okay, on the count of 3, we both say our results. 1, 2, 3, 32!
I beam a mischievous green.
Ah! Evil, 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 evil!
You said it, not me. Still, the fact that you managed an even lower score than me is kind of amazing. She looks and sounds like a small terrier growling at an intro there. I can say is the most threatening sight I've seen.
Either way, scoring higher than 32 isn't something to boast about, much less scoring below it, for any subject.
Yes, Lily, yes.
Sorry, Lily. I could help you with your English if you'd like. It would be my pleasure to... No, that's fine, but appreciate the forthright.
Lily looks slightly deflated. Her hopes of imparting her knowledge dashed. Judging from the badly hidden laughter of the rest of us, neither she nor Emi seem to have garnered too much pity. I'll take that. Oh shit, not now. As I sit happy laughing for, I feel my voice suddenly cut off as my chest clenches. That end. I sit in silence for a few seconds, all my concentration converged on my heartbeat. It's only a small pain, but the age feels like it's growing. Oh shit. Breathe deeply. Breathe deeply. I glance upward, try and keep at least some of my attention on my surroundings. To see Emi suddenly freezing when she notices the expression of pain on her face, but of the corner of her eye.
Hey, Hisao, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. I look back down and redouble my efforts to try and stay calm, clenching my fists to try and dull the pain. It takes a short time, but the pain thankfully begins to fade. When I look back up, there is only silent, expansive faces to be seen. I guess I'd better explain myself.
I'm fine,
It's just a heart flutter.
Are you sure? Should we get the nurse?
Taking her cue, Hanako quickly picks herself up and begins to dash to the door.
Hanako, stop! I'm fine. You look like a wet, wrinkled tomato.
Huh? As I bring my hand to my forehead, I can feel the beds of sweat gathered on it and dab them off with my cuff. Thanks. I told you I'm fine. I'm just kind of fragile, I guess. Tick. The entire atmosphere changed from one of gaiety to downcast effect. What the fuck does it mean? Never heard of such. Okay, like cheerful moment called gaiety. Wow, I had no idea. Never heard of it. To downcast faces. The situation being too awkward for everyone to know exactly how to react. And of course, the whole thing is thanks to me. It just had to happen now, around others!
Oh, Emi?
She looks up. A box of juice halfway to her mouth.
I haven't told you of my score yet, have I? Yeah, well, you're half for it, so your score doesn't count anyway.
Lifting an eyebrow, I inquisitively turned to Lilly. What was your test result anyway? She gives a cheeky grin.
100%! A perfect score!
No way. All I can do is hang my mouth when you wonder. Considering those tests are insane even for some native speakers, I can only imagine she's gone and done something like committing to mind part of the dictionary. A gift for road memorization, maybe. Is that so? Now that I think about it, that's funny enough. That's something I remember from primary school when we started English there. Literally the first test. And yeah, we were divided back then into English classes, guys and girls separately, because physical education was separately, and you know, they kind of divided it, you know, English with physical education somehow, to keep the hours correct for the teachers or whatever really, right? It was divided. And the first test, quite literally, I was the only one who passed, and I had 100%, while the other guys failed, every single person. And the teacher was on like,
what the fuck?
Of course she didn't use the words, but you know. But she was like,
okay, maybe you didn't understand everything, we'll retake it, if it's okay with you.
And by that she meant me, and I'm like, sure, whatever. I mean, I nailed it again at 100%, obviously. I mean, whatever. I mean, it's fine. I read it. That's... Now that I think about it, in primary school, generally in all the schools and subjects, the only subject where I got the full mark, which in Poland is, you know, from 1 to 6 basically, so 6 being the best, other than having 6 in physical education, that really doesn't count. I mean, the fact that I was in a football club basically more or less was giving me that until high school. But high school doesn't matter really. English was the only one where I at some point was able to get that full mark as well. The single only one. Anyway, that's...
See, only someone part foreign could get a score that good.
See. Didn't I grin at Amy's expense? Her reaction identical to mine when I'd first tripped on that little landmine. Least foreign ancestry does raise a point for. Oh, that's right. You leave tomorrow for Scotland, don't ya?
That's correct. Amy heard some rumors about it. It seems word spreading quickly, considering I only told a friend in my class a couple of days ago. It must be so nice to go half around the world on a holiday. Hey, could you buy me something while we're there?
Don't be too shy now. Lily gives a light-hearted giggle, evidently fully expecting Amy's bluntness. The rest of the lunch continues much the same as before. The jauntiness from before, my heart flutter thankfully returning in full. As everyone files off with the appropriate farewells, only Lee and I are left. Hey Lily. She packs the last of her wings to her back and clips it shut before perking her head up slightly. Thanks for breaking the silence back there. I kind of want to stop it, but didn't really know how to. As much as I like to sound less morose about it, the letter from yesterday. Screwing up a test so bad in class. And now my heart makes things very hard indeed. She gives an indulgent smile and nods. I hope she hasn't picked up on it, but knowing her, it's unlikely that she hasn't.
I'm strong, but only human. We'd worry about you, Hisao.
Hold on. Why would I worry you? Why? Because she cares. God damn it. If you care about someone even a little bit, you'll worry about that person, okay? That's how it is. Okay, I did not delete it. That's good. That's good. That's kind of important. Her smiling face collapses, becoming uncomfortably serious.
Hisao. Hisao. We are not ignorant of your situation. Only...
Unlimited? I don't know. She suddenly cuts herself short, unsure of whether she should say what she intends to. I give a weak smile and rest my hand on her shoulder. But it's enough that I worry about it. I don't want you all to shoulder my burden.
But...
If you all worry about it, I have to worry about you worrying, if that makes sense. I'm fine, okay? For a moment, she looks to be lost in thought, carefully pondering how to react. Wait. Okay.
Hisao, do you have any paper left from your food's packaging?
I think so. I'll just check. I rummage around my bag for the leftovers from lunch, eventually finding a paper square from my sandwich's package. My eyebrow raised and my expression rather quizzical. I gently place the square into Lily's hand. Without another word, she brings her fingers around it to feel out its edges.
This should be large enough.
We both fast sit on the roof. 10 minutes to the lesson ticking away. She presses to lay the item on the ground and begin her work in earnest. Wrapped in silence, I watch her fingers move about on a small square with amazing dexterity. A small fold here, a larger fold there. Her fingers get slow but sure pace. What's she doing? Looking up, her expression is calm and placid. The fact that her face is pointed well above the sheet in front of her makes the sight of her work all the more curious. What is she doing? Like origami or something? I don't know. Her shoulders slump a bit after finishing one final fold. Her work apparently done. It's only when she holds the item up in her hands that I realize what it is. I was correct. A small origami crane. Light brown. Thanks to the packaging used, the result looks quite delicate and precise. You can do origami.
I've taught myself how to do it when I was younger. It improved my dexterity a bit.
A little baffled, I carefully take the small bird from her pale cupped hands as if it would break from the slightest breeze. It seems to be folded quite well and holds its shape easily. We both grab our bags and head out the door, Lily extending her cane as she does so. I hold Lily's handiwork up to my face for further inspection while we walk down the hallway, her hand running along the silver handrails for orientation. If she taught herself origami to improve her dexterity, with the use of her hands meaning so much to given her condition. So that's it. I smile as I realize the bird's meaning. Everyone here has had to find their own ways of dealing with their conditions. You aren't alone here when you have problems. Thanks, Lily. I appreciate it. She gives a sweet smile and then nods, not using words where none need to be used, in her typical manner.
All I ask that you take care of yourself, Hisao.
Don't worry. I will.
Promise?
Promise. So I guess we are going to be running tomorrow morning again with Emmy. Hell yeah. And with that, we part ways. To be honest, I don't know what annoys me more. The fact that I could die at any moment, or the fact that everyone knows that. And you know what's crazy? In the route we took first, nobody knew about it. Nobody. That basically shows us Shizune was not a good girl for us. You didn't trust her with that knowledge at all. That just shows a lot. And right now, let's say, Rin knew from the beginning because she was blunt about it. Yo, what's wrong with you? I freaking loved that fact, okay? I mean, Emi learned now, actually. Same, Hanako? I think Hanako might have learned now as well. Lilly knew. That's amazing. So, those four no, that's awesome. That just shows that Shizune is bottom. Like, I mean, you know, the worst girl of all five. Anyway, if anyone worries, I'll smile. I'll smile now for all their worries to go away. And with that being said, let's end the episode. We'll of course continue tomorrow. For now, hope you enjoyed. Hope you have a wonderful day and see you in the next one. Bye bye.